Hey everybody, it's me, Edward Jones, back with a new video. Race war, LOL. I'm sitting here, got a cup of water with me, and I got my Mossberg 500 here with me, because what else am I gonna have during the summertime? I'm over here looking at these videos, looking at some information going on about the rioting going on in Milwaukee. First of all, I'm going to say, I don't know what it is about summertime. It has to be the heat. But it's like every summer, some BS, some bullshit goes down, and it's followed by a riot. Things get destroyed. Property is burned down. People are hurt. Some people are killed. The police come in and have to clash with rioters. People were trying to, protest. Their movement gets hijacked by all this nonsense. Then it's followed by someone saying that we need to have an honest conversation about race, which translates to how can we make white people feel guilty for what happened to a group of people in this country somewhere for about 400 years ago. How can we make them feel guilty and want to give us more free shit to pacify us until next summer comes around? And then you have some people who bring up this point of a race war. So we're gonna rally together and we're gonna fight these racists. We're gonna take to the streets and stick it to the man, i.e. the white man. They're gonna do all these things, and I'm here to say that is a load of BS. Nothing like that's gonna happen. What's gonna happen is the white guilt train moving along. It's gonna be spearheaded by it's gonna be pushed forward by so-called black leaders, and then it's gonna accompanied by a bunch of progressives, mostly white progressives, white liberal progressives. Yeah, I'm gonna say that. And they're gonna they're gonna say a bunch of things to pacify these unruly blacks, and nothing's gonna change. Things gonna go back to normal. Basically snafu, with some foobar wrapped in there. Until summer comes around again. There's not gonna be a race war. I mean, and let's say something like that were to happen. Let's look at the things you need in order to fight a war. First, you need leadership. The black community does not have adequate leadership within its ranks. A lot of the ones who go public, a lot of them who are progressive minded, they're not leaders. They're either pimps, they're busters, and they're punks. They're not leaders. They make their living off the misery of other people. People that they say that they claim to love. They make the misery off them. They make excuses for the collapse of their community. Which, first of all, the reason why a big part of why there's no leadership, why there's no genuine leadership, because the black family has collapsed. I guess you got LBJ to thank for that. The Great Society. It basically kicked the black father out of the family. When that happened, you had a generation of young blacks who did not know what competent leadership looked like. They didn't know how to recognize it, because generally in a family, the father is the leader. The father is the head of the household. Instead, the father's been kicked out and replaced with not the black woman, no, but the state. And sad to say, but a lot of black mothers are have a hand in this, because they or for whatever reason, saw that it was better to replace the child's father with the government in exchange for some bread. And it did a number on a lot of young black individuals as they got older. You know, they don't know how to respond to authority. It's not so much about following authority, which that plays into it, but how to respond to authority, how to respond to certain individuals who may have a certain amount of power over you, or not power, potential power that could be exercised against you. They don't know how to respond to it. They don't know how to come up with a strategy. A lot of them just they throw a temper tantrum, because that's probably that's all they learned growing up. They get loud. They lose their cool. They don't know how to control themselves. Things that a leader cannot do. A leader must have composure, within stressful situations. And if a race war was to ever happen, which I doubt, that's gonna be very stressful. You're gonna need men for that, and not a lot of men know how to handle stressful situations. And let's talk about following behind that. Let's talk about mentality. You gotta know how to take care of yourself. Not a lot of black people know how to take care of themselves. Because of their conditioning, they think that a lot of things that happen to them are of no consequence of their actions, and must be fixed or must be managed by someone on the outside. Usually it's the state. And usually it's white people. The same white people that they claim hold them back. And that type of mindset will not get you ahead in any type of conflict. If anything, it keeps you being it keeps them being what they claim that they want to stop being for so long. Slaves. It keeps you a slave. Because you can't how can you hold the slave responsible for its actions when it doesn't understand that concept altogether. It keeps them in a lot of progressive policies throughout history have tried to keep certain groups, in this conversation blacks, in a perpetual state of childhood. And children are easy victims. You can't hold the child responsible for what happens to it. Someone else is supposed to be watching them. Someone else is supposed to be taking care of them. Someone else is supposed to be providing for them. Someone else is supposed to be teaching them. Someone else is supposed to be doing all their basic necessities for them. And that's a lot of the excuses that come out of certain individuals whenever this so-called this needed honest conversation about race comes up. It's laughable. And on top, let's see what else. We need equipment. Is it common for we all talk? I guess we all know the stereotype of we're pretty sure we're all aware of this, the stereotypical black thug who's pants sagging, he has a gun, shoots it, holds it sideways, can't hit worth a shit. And think that he's fighting. No. Not equipped, not properly equipped here, and not equipped know how to use these. And if they think they're gonna fight against white people, against white America, with those tactics, no, it's not gonna end well. And there are plenty of people out there throughout the color spectrum who've equipped quality equipment, who have trained, who have practiced, who have stayed in shape, who have done many things that if it came down to it, can fight, can put up a defense, can dish out an offense. But it's also fostered by the proper mentality. And what's going on? And like I said, I'm watching this watching the footage of many of the riots that came, has come, going on throughout time, from the L.A. riots to the mess in the Occupy Wall Street, the mess in Ferguson, and where else? What have I missed? Probably more stuff in California, and now here in Milwaukee. No, they're not equipped for that kind of action. So anytime there's people, and it's understandable to have concern about about that type of violence going on. But to think that it's gonna be I think there's gonna be a race war where, for also numbers, 13% of the population against, let's say, maybe let's say the other 60%. No, by numbers alone, that's a losing fight. That's not even a skirmish. That's not even getting out of the film room. It's I couldn't fathom it. Every summer, this mess goes on. But someday, maybe we'll get our act together. Maybe the black community will straighten up and fly right. Maybe things will improve. But from how things look now, it wouldn't even be a race. It wouldn't even be a race skirmish. Yeah. Oh boy, it's been an interesting year, and considering the current political climate, it's going to get more interesting. Probably not going to be able to find shotgun shells. It's probably going to be that bad. One thing I will say I've noticed, and go back to this whole race war, thought. I remember when Barack Obama, in 2000, I remember a week after the election, not even a full week after the election, I went to a gun show because I wanted to buy a second gun, and I was with some friends. We were in line for maybe an hour, and I think it was like 98%, 98% white. No, 99% whites, and probably 95% of them were white males. So if something like that were to go off, like I said, numbers alone, equipment alone, mindset alone, it won't be pretty. It will not be pretty. But please, tell me what you think. Do you think that if such a thing would happen, that the black community could sustain such action? Do they have any advantage in a quote unquote race war? I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it at all. Please leave your comments in the comment section, or send me a PM. If you want to call me a coon, what do you expect? I'm wearing a coonskin hat, holding a shotgun, surrounded by wood paneling, talking about this kind of stuff because it interests me. But gripes, complaints, you know what to do. That's my video. I'm gonna leave a link to the footage I've seen in Milwaukee, and let you draw your own conclusions. That's my video. Race War LOL. I'm Edward Jones, and thanks for watching.